Oh my goodness, does that thing say live?
Yes, sir.
What up, boys? A little different setup, a little different director here. Dakota Drake 4 coming to you live from South Atlanta, Georgia. What's up, boys? Rattlesnake's a little live. He's doing a little recon in Houston. He's going to join the episode in a little while. We'll see if he can catch us. But we got our boy Pool from Fast Car Living joining in, taking in the spot. Little guest shout. What's up, David?
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Thanks for having me again out here. Didn't have a show for us this week, so I definitely wanted to be able to join our friends over here when y'all talked about it. And I was like, hey, let me hop on there with you.
Hey, what's good, boy? Let's get this thing going.
What's
Cheers.
up? It's Chairgatin coming at you live.
Hello, come right in. Rock flag and eagle.
I got to stay alert because I'm running the DJ boost tonight. So usually I'm like, yeah, whatever, post the shit. But now I'm like, oh, wait, what?
Dude, it's the
Oh,
hardest thing when you're so used to just being the guy that can click on comments to
Yeah,
where all
I'm
of a
good
sudden
at
you're running
fucking
the
it
whole
up.
thing.
I'm not giving let's go, Josh Berry. What's up, Fred, baby? Yeah,
What up,
Josh
what
Berry,
up?
man, going to the 21. A lot to talk about. I don't know what he's going to do over there, but I mean, don't give up. Never give up.
Have some hopes and dreams. I don't know. Maybe it'll do better than what the Harrison Burton train's been doing. I think
My
he
boy
can only
Fred
do
there,
better, right?
my boy Fred there's an old school Kevin fan, so he's stuck with the 4. The other
Gotcha.
guy's just like, oh my god, I can't even get this out of here.
Had to throw it in there real quick.
What's up, Pool? What you been up to, man?
Man, been out on the road watching, having some fun, doing some family time. I'm up here in Charlotte, North Carolina, or right outside Charlotte, North Carolina. So this ain't the normal digs, just in a hotel room. Pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Hell yeah, you sounding like me when I'm on the road and Matt's at his house. Like, what the fuck? Man, I love the hotel life because it's so convenient for podcasting. Because I'll be like,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
I got nothing to do but drink and talk to my buddies. But then sometimes I'm like when I'm at home, I'm like, I've been on the road all day, and I come home and like Rattlesnake's wanting to do a show, and I'm like, dude, like I can't. Man, I know that hotel life all too well.
Oh yeah. I was lucky enough. I was like, all right, let me go ahead and bring my camera, my setup, and everything. And so I was like, all right, I'm already gonna bring everything anyway, just to do news or anything that breaks.
Yeah.
So like, why not do this? Like, this is the perfect. I got the desk. I got all the stuff I need. I mean,
That's one thing I appreciate is like with or like hotel have an outlet, Wi-Fi, you have lamps and everything there to charge, and it's like highly convenient. A chair, the cuck chair, but
the cuck
man,
chair.
yeah.
There's always a cuck chair. Always.
But heck yeah, man. R.I.P. Andy, we're missing him. Missed him y'all on Fast Car on Monday, but I always like y'all will post y'all show in the group chat, and I'll be like, ooh. And I'll comment for like the first 10 minutes, and then she'll be like, you're not even watching the show. And I'll be like, oh. But I'll leave y'all like streaming, and then like she'll get up, go to the bathroom, and I'll be like, hey, motherfuckers. And or like whatever y'all are talking about at the moment, I'll comment, And then she'll be like, oh, unpause it. And I'll be like, oh, yeah. Trying to
I will say, Andy, he's been doing a lot. For those of y'all out there that have anyone that's been affected by cancer, I'm just gonna say it. Fuck cancer. It's
respect.
It's a bad thing out there. So RIP to all those that we've lost.
True, man. Everybody's got to take care of their own, We'll miss Andy, but hey, we're glad you're on, dude. We'll get Rattlesnake in here to catch up too. But dude, it feels like we were talking earlier. Is like it feels like it's been like 3 weeks since we had a race, and it's only been 4 days. We were like, oh yeah, the Brickyard, the Crown Jewel. Like, oh, we got to talk about that. And I'm like, there's been so much news in the last 2 days where you're like, oh, and then the break we're going into. I remember being so bitchy on Monday about NASCAR and pissed off, and then now I'm like, so when's the next? I was like, what time's the race Sunday? Oh wait, there's not a race Sunday. I'm like, well, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I literally started making plans, and I'm sitting there like, all right, can't do anything at this time. I can do stuff on Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, my one, but I try usually not to like do anything on Sundays or just hang out around the house and watch the race. But my buddy was like, we could golf Sunday, and I was like, well, no, what? Yeah, I could probably go golf Sunday actually, at whatever time.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to do something. I need to make something. I need to use my break advantageously.
Well, and also we don't have to sit there on our phones listening to MRN to get our picks in. So we
Oh,
have our
dude.
entire Saturday
Dude.
as well.
I know I bitch, but I will make sure my TV is live. And I'll be watching the driver take the white flag, and it'll be like, doo, 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 picks, picks, picks. And I'll be like, y'all are full of shit, dude. I'll be like, y'all are so full of shit. He just took the fucking turn one. And I'll be like, oh, MRN, man, MRN. I'm like, that's such bullshit.
Dude, MRN is quicker, but I swear to you, Bailey this week was early, but hey,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
It is what it is. No, Charles is always early. Charles is the worst. He'll literally I remember one week I was like, fuck these motherfuckers. The last dude he was coming to the green and I sent my pick. I literally was like, fuck y'all.
That one was bad. Yeah.
So I literally was like, I let it slide, but I'm like, this is bullshit. Because I'm literally like, well, maybe that guy won't win. We'll let luck decide. But we should have known. We should have known the 5 car was gonna be fast at Indy.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of went into this and we were like, all right, we have some players that we pretty much are thinking are going to win this. Obviously, Denny Hamlin was one of those that we were like, hey, this dude, this is the one crown jewel that he's missing and he really wants it. He's done track tests there. He's done a lot of stuff at this course. He was leading the last time the Cup Series was there before he blew a tire. So it was like, all right, he's going to win. Larson just is Larson. I think Blaney, a lot of people pick Blaney as well.
Dude, going into the weekend, all my money was on Denny Hamlin. I literally was like, Denny wants this motherfucker. He's racking up the crown jewels. He's got the 500s. He's got the Darlingtons. He's got Coke 600 now. As like, he wants to put this on the roster. And he was fast as shit. Them Toyotas were fast. And I put all my money on Hamlin. I didn't get to get him in our picks. I chose 45, not a bad pick. I bet heavy on Denny Hamlin, and when they had it right in their palm with like 50-40 to go. I literally was like, come on, Hamlin, this is it. And then when they started saving, that fuel strategy came late and the 45 and 5 were like good to go. I was like, oh, this is over.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, we'll talk about it, I'm sure, once we get there, but it's kind of turned into another Pocono where it's all strategy.
Yeah.
And it took away from it, in my opinion. But I'm just going to say this now. Indy on the Brickyard 400 I'll take that boring race, just like some other people have said, over the road course there any day, every day.
Let's jump right into it. I think I preached like a choir boy to the group chat this week or last week about how much this race meant to me. And I have nothing to do with Indiana. I have no relation to it at all. I don't know anything. But I love race cars and I love racing. And all my life, the Brickyard 400 was nostalgic, iconic. The Indianapolis, it's like the mother of tracks. Like Daytona's our bread and butter, but Indy was like the Blue Eyes White Dragon,
Yeah.
And I like this track was so prestigious. All the drivers talked about wanting to win here, how iconic it was that NASCAR ran here. Dale Earnhardt made sure he was the first motherfucker on the track when they went there and tested for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Gordon got the first win, how prestigious that was. This meant a lot to every race car driver ever. So my childhood growing up, like that meant a lot to me. Like it didn't matter if it was green flag the whole race and one guy led every lap. It was like just crossing the line first here was such a big deal. It didn't matter how the race went.
Agreed. And where did Kissing the Bricks come from? NASCAR.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, boom. That's why they kiss the bricks. Dale Jarrett.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, that's our own nostalgic, historic legend. And oh no, I don't buy the whole, this is Indy's track, we just race here. Like, I'm like, yeah, no, there's lots of different cars that race here, but no matter what car you're in, just being on the grounds is a thing in itself.
Oh yeah. It's just like, in my opinion, it's just like Wilkesboro. Last year, Wilkesboro had terrible racing, but you had to be there because of Wilkesboro.
Exactly.
To me, you have to be at Indy for Indy. Some people, in my opinion, and I'll put this in our group chat, I think I even put it in the group chat, actually. Some people get mixed up between Crown Jewel and a great race. They do not have to be one and the same.
Yes, I agree. Like, I was watching Kevin Harvick's podcast this week, and he was hey, maybe a homer, but he was spitting facts. He was like, I don't care what the race is, what we're doing there. running at Indianapolis is so like awesome in itself. Like that is the crown jewel, is just running at Indianapolis. He's like,
Yeah.
it can be the most boring race ever there. Winning is winning. He's like, if you win the Brickyard
100%.
on the oval, that is winning the Brickyard. He said, no, he's literally like, fuck the road course. That doesn't count. That's not real. And I always thought when they ran the road course and Kissed the Bricks, I was like, this just ain't right.
It
Like,
didn't feel right.
This
It
ain't
didn't look
right.
right. It didn't feel right.
Yeah, it's just like, what are we doing? And I do appreciate though, like in the pre-race, they were showing the big trophy with every driver's name in it, and the last name was Kevin Harvick in 2020. Like that's the Brickyard trophy. There was no road course bullcrap names or any of that. Like that's the Brickyard trophy. And I'm like, if that doesn't tell you anything, like that's what it is.
Yeah, 100% nostalgia, and the reason I said the thing about the good race versus or a great race versus a crown jewel is because if we go back through history, there's been multiple times where a car that was set up was terrible when it came to mile and a half. So we went to short tracks, road courses. Well, now mile and a halfs are great, short tracks and road courses suck. So like we made all these changes way back when, and so there's crown jewels that 5 to 6 years ago weren't great either. So
I agree.
Like people that sit here and go, oh, I don't take it because it's not great racing. That's not what a crown jewel is about. It's about the history. It's about when you walk on those grounds that your hair stands on its end because you can just feel the octane and the rubber in the track. It's a thing, right?
Dude, spot. My first Coke 600. What was it? 21, I think. Larson's first year in the 5 was champ year when Larson dominated and won, like got the pole, won, led all the laps, and kicked their ass. That was my first Coke 600, and it was like the most boring race I ever been to. And I was soaking it up like it's my first time at Charlotte. I'm finally at the Coke 600. Checked it off the list. I'm at a crown jewel, and that race was awful, and I still loved every bit of it because I was like, I'm at the Coke 600, dude. Like this is a big deal. And just like now with the next gen, the Coke 600 has turned into like the must-see race of the year, and that's why we see a sold-out crowd the last 2 years. But it's like this was our first time back at the Brickyard with the next gen, or our fourth season with the fourth season with the next gen, and it's like we had something to build off. You give them, I think in 3 years this car's not going to race the way it does today.
Well, they're still changing tires to this day.
The tires are always changing. We're doing some crazy shit at Richmond in a couple weeks with the tires. And it's like, I just think, hey, we got one under our belt with the next gen. Regardless, boring or not, the race was great being at Indy. Way better than any road course, Roval. But it's like, I think there's we got something on our belt, and we can only make the race better from here. And I'm okay with a crew chief strategy who's got the right call. To me, that was so exciting watching those guys that were good on fuel try to pass the guys that were saving, and the laps were clicking off, and you're like, dude, I don't know if he's going to get them.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
And I was like last week, obviously in the group chat, I was trolling a little bit, but I don't like Pocono. I've never been a big fan of Pocono. And obviously Pocono is all strategy, like 100% strategy. To me, no racing. Here, at least the cars were still somewhat close. So it felt like they were still racing. So that's the part where, like, I guess this is also strategy, but I still felt like they were racing. I still felt like it felt a little racy. And it might just be the fact that it was a crown jewel that made me feel that way, but I enjoyed it overall.
People were like, they're strung out, they're single file. I'm like, dude, this isn't Talladega. I don't know what the hell y'all want to see here, but like, this is Indy. Like, it made my dick hard just to watch these cars on the track. Like, it was just yes, we're back. The Brickyard, we're here.
Dude, the when they did the aerials and they came in and they showed the tower and everything, I was like,
seeing the pagoda just like gives you goosebumps to me.
Oh yeah,
I always bitch about it, but like this was always on my bucket list since like the 2000s, and I was always like, I want to go to the Brickyard one day. Like, where I'd like to go see Brickyard 400, but like Indy 500 also. And I was like, one day I'm gonna go there. And then finally, like, I started, doing the podcasting, making friends, and like, you know what? I'm gonna start clicking some tracks off. And in 2020 or like 2019, I said next year I'm going to Indy. I said that's my track. I'm clicking off Indy next year. 2020 came, COVID happened, and they were like, "Oh no, not doing any of this.
Can't do this.
Killed it." Well, then they ran the Brickyard with no fans. Weird. Kevin won. Ironically, that's the one I was going to go to. Yeah, of course. And then they're like, "Oh, next year we're running the Roval," and I was like, what the fuck?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I'm not flying to Indiana to watch the Roval." I was like,
Yeah.
that ain't right." I was like, "I'm not doing it." Yeah, and we're big non-Roval fans over here on Chairgatin, but I was like, "Nope, not doing it." So I was literally like, I I didn't know if the Brickyard 400 was coming back or not, but I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'm never going to Indy. It'll just never happen." And then now they brought it back, and I
No.
was like, "Well, I'm already doing too much this year. It's not going to happen." But I was like,
Yeah.
in the next 5 years, I think I'd like to go to Indy if they keep.
Hey,
I think it's here to stay.
when you decide to go, you let probably me and Andy know. I know at least me. I will 100% be there because I am the same exact way. I was talking about it before. I want to go to Indy and be a part of that race. I don't care how good, bad it is. I just want to be there.
I want to go and say I went there and saw a race there. Like,
exactly.
checked it off the list. Yeah, it's too soon to like say maybe next year, but definitely in the next 2, 3, 5 years, is I'd like to just make a we could make a boys trip or something. Like, let's all go to Indy one year. I'd love to
Dude.
fly in there, rent a car, do the whole thing.
Yes.
It'd be
Yeah,
so
I mean,
fun.
we ain't taking the bus. I can tell you that. We ain't taking the bus.
Yeah, that might be a
tow
lot.
bill would suck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing, like, it might make it there. I don't know if it'll make it back, but if it doesn't make it, that's a bigger problem.
That's a huge problem.
I totally
Now, I will
feel
say
that.
this: you slammed on the Roval a little bit. You got to come to the Roval on top of the bus. It will change your mind of the Roval.
I'm wondering how many days. I think the Rovals at Charlotte's days are numbered. I thought last year, like, will we have a Roval next year? And then they announced it, and I was like, no way. But I was like, will we have a Roval next year? I don't know.
We have a couple buddies in the NASCAR world, and they've told us they have to get that return on investment before they go. So they told us last year, they said it's going to be 3 to 5 years before it goes away.
I could see it.
That'd be another year that we'd have to be in that, because there's this year. It was obviously last year's, this year's, and then maybe next year's. And I'm fine with that. Get it out of your system and then get back to it. What I fear is
I think Charlotte loses the date completely.
That's what I fear. And I hope that NASCAR doesn't do something like that where it's like, okay, well, we want to add diversity, so we're going to add it somewhere else. Charlotte needs to have 2 dates, and one of them needs to be a night race.
I agree with that. But does the 600 count as a night race?
It goes into the night, but that's just because how long
it's half and half. Yeah, it's half and half. It is a day race and a night race.
I think a dedicated race, probably a 400, 400 or a
400 Saturday night race. I think that'd be great in the playoffs.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, I'd totally be fine with Charlotte Oval in the playoffs. I think that's appropriate. Like, hey, we also have the nostalgic home track in the playoffs. Like, it makes sense. But as crazy as the drastic measures being made in the playoffs next year is almost like God knows what they're going to do in the next couple of years.
Well, so you got to think too, it's got to be an SMI for an SMI. So if they take Charlotte out, what SMI track would make it back in? So there's also that.
Yeah.
Because if we're taking one away from SMI, they're gaining one. So what track gets 2 at that point that's from SMI that doesn't already have 2?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you could add a second date of something, or just bring something over. I don't know. It's weird because now SMI owns New Hampshire, so they're adding that in the playoffs.
But that one's got 2 now.
Yeah, so there's some wheeling and dealing that we never hear or see of.
Well, and here's the thought in my mind: if they take one away from Charlotte, what if they make the championship add an SMI track? So they take one away from SMI, but they make the championship race. Yeah,
dude, championship at Atlanta. It'd be fucking nuts.
I would be okay with that. I know it's a super speedway style racetrack, but I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, what's always killed me is like I'm all for like nostalgia, but I'm also for like a little chaos. Is people like, you can't do it at a super speedway? I'm like, why not?
Why not?
We race there in the regular season. We race there in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So be it. Like, well, they could get tangled up in big one. I said, so don't get tangled up in the big one.
I'm about to say, last time I checked, it takes strategy to win, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 40 guys on the track. They all have the same amount of risk.
Exactly. So if we're all out there, and also for a champion, shouldn't they be good at all race? Like, all the tracks, short track, road course, and super speedways?
Dude, I'm so for like I know there's more to it logistically and financially, but I would love if the championship race changed every year.
Yeah.
Because to me, it would make like
fine with it.
even if it was a track nobody liked, but like then make it you could make it change and like that track, no matter what that year would sell out or like probably sell out or make crazy good ticket sales. You could totally they could
Holy crap! There's a sexy beast.
look at that son bitch. I was about to ask you if you're ready, but you added yourself.
Yeah, sorry, boys.
Oh
Sorry.
my
Good. What's
Lanta.
up, Big Daddy?
What up? I'm here. Sorry, I'm on a family vacation. So
You look like a mafia boss. Like
Mhm.
come to me. on
Where's
my
the
daughter's
cigar?
on my
And the
daughter's
dead people.
birthday. My daughter's wedding.
Come to me.
Yeah,
Like-
that's what you look like right
You like
now.
my background?
Yeah, you look like some mafia boss.
Is
You
that
look at
Step
that.
Brothers?
Look at that.
Yeah, I can't really tell what it is, but it's a painting.
It's Trump with a bunch of other presidents.
Discussing important matters.
It's so funny, dude. Look, I got that one. I got
Oh,
one over
yeah.
here.
Yep.
I am
That's
in my
cool.
in-laws office in Houston. Texas.
Oh, that makes
Hell
sense because
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw that in a porno once.
Yeah, that's why.
What's
you're
up,
seeing this.
Rattlesnake? Coming to you live.
What up, boys? Sorry, I'm running late.
You're good, bro. We've actually
We
been having a good
don't forget
episode.
you.
We've been diving into it.
Better that I wasn't here.
Yeah, we were just talking about kind of playoff mystery playoffs and talking about like what could be if they took the Roval away, what could they add if they didn't add the Charlotte Oval. And earlier we talked about
You're saying if they took away the Roval but didn't replace it with another Charlotte.
like we're
Oval,
talking
right?
about taking
Yes.
away a SM. We said, well,
Okay.
Poole was just jumping into if they took away Charlotte completely, they took away a SMI track, but gave an SMI track the championship to make up for it. What would it be? Like what it could be.
Okay. Well, were some of the suggestions?
We were talking about what if Atlanta had the championship.
Yeah, we literally just got into Atlanta. That's kind of the biggest one in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that one.
Why not?
It's a little okay.
This is what we needed you for.
This is
Yeah.
gonna sound bad. It's a little gimmicky, in my opinion. I just want a normal intermediate mile and a half, like
Homestead?
yeah, right. Yes, please just give me Homestead. That's all I'm saying. Is just give me Homestead.
Let me
I love
ask you a
Atlanta
question.
though, so this is not diss. I love the new track. I
Oh, yeah.
love what it does. I love everything, but it's also like I wouldn't want the championship in Darlington either. Like, I don't know.
I'd be fine with it, Darlington. But let me ask this question: if we know the best racing right now is at mile and a half, am I correct in saying that?
I think everybody would agree with
In the last
Okay.
3 or 4 years, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. With this generation car, mile and a half are the best racing. NASCAR controls where the schedule goes. Why are they not scheduling the final race at the best possible racing? It baffles me that we're using Phoenix. I get it sells out, but give us good racing. I'd rather have everyone tune in because of great racing than tune in just because it's the championship race.
I think it all turns into dollar bills before it turns into what fans want.
Well, I mean, Dakota, you win, and after you win, you told me I
The place
understand
was
why it's
awesome.
here.
I get it. But like being at home on TV, you're like, what again? My whole thing is like, I thought Phoenix was like a 3-year deal. As we're
Yes.
going into our 4th year, loading in our 5th year, I'm like, wait, y'all, I thought y'all did 3 years.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
okay, the place was awesome. Place was sick, beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. It was like a mini Daytona plex of a Phoenix Raceway. Super cool. However, we were talking before you dropped on. I said I would love it. I know there's more that goes into it, but I would love if the championship race changed every year. Like
Yeah.
rotate the tracks, no matter what. Like I don't care if it's a Watkins Glen. Fucking make it weird. But it's like it would bring more like sellout dates to that venue as it rotated. Like you want to be here next year at Dover. It's the championship race. And I'm not talking about weather and I'm not talking about like who, what fan base, but it's like I'm just saying if it just rotated to like different tracks every year and it's like, dude, next year, 2025, we gotta go. That's gonna be a sick championship race.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
agree. I think that would be sick. Just rotate it every single
Yeah,
year.
every year. It's like draw out of a hat or some shit.
No,
Yeah.
not even
Well-
that. Let's just say like for the next fucking 20 years, we have this scheduled because we're like each track is gonna get it once. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
It's just boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom down the line.
I don't care if it's
And-
a Talladega, motherfucker. Like, let's
Well,
do it.
and think about it. Every sporting event Pretty much all of them, except for what's college baseball, which nobody cares about baseball, right?
Whoa! College baseball. Hold on.
Everyone else,
I'll let
though.
you finish.
If I care about baseball, it's definitely not college.
Sorry.
That's the best baseball.
Everywhere alternates where they have it at, and there's bids, and there's they vote on it. Okay, hey, it can be this. I agree with you, Dakota. I think we need to move it around, but I think we should fan vote the All-Star race.
I think that's something too. North Wilkesboro is cool. It's been nice. How much longer are we going to keep this going as a tradition? And if we take the All-Star away from North Wilkesboro, let's talk about putting a regular cup date on there. Totally open to that. I think the All-Star should move around, and I'm okay with that. Since we took it away from Charlotte and it's not as big a deal anymore, it seems, let's move it around. And I'm not talking about building some football stadium course. I'm talking about, like, let's take it to some local short tracks, maybe take it to like a New Hampshire, maybe take it to Bowman Gray, maybe take it to wherever.
So would we all be satisfied if it was? Do I have a crazy echo in this fucking room? It's killing me. It's driving me crazy.
No, there's no echo.
Okay.
It looks like you're about to murder someone, but
well, I am.
Off with his head.
I think everybody would be satisfied then. Let me propose. All-Star, fan vote, rotate.
Yeah, I'm totally cool.
Championship.
And next year's
Championship.
All-Star race will be at.
But championship
that would be
only the only race at Homestead. Let's go back to it's the only race of the whole season, and it's going to be at Homestead every single year.
That's another good topic. I always liked that the only time we went to Homestead was for the championship race. Oh, son of a bitch. Son of a
the in-laws
gun.
are watching.
Hey, go Trump. I would love that. Like, that's one thing that bothers me. If Phoenix can have championship race, okay. The only time we go to Phoenix is for the championship. I would be better with that. I don't like that we go to the championship track twice a year.
I would be much happier if they were like, hey, it's always at Phoenix now. It's the only race.
The only time we go there, because to me, it's like to me that makes the first race a test.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're testing.
Well, and the other part to me is right now, if we think of Phoenix, we go, okay, there's these certain drivers right now because they're really strong at flat short tracks. All right, perfect. These are your drivers. Boom, 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 boom. And this is kind of where I go back to what Dakota was saying earlier, where it could be that Atlanta, could be that Talladega, where it could be anyone's race there. Because right now, if you're not going to have a four driver playoff where any four of those could win during that time based off of 4 races, not just the last race being good at one racetrack, like make it a super speedway, because then at that point it's anyone's race. We can find out who's going to be the best champion, who's got the best strategy from the beginning to the end. So I don't know. I might be crazy thinking this. I might be the smoke wagon.
If it's going to be a super speedway, then I think it needs to be the situation where we just rotate it and every track gets it. Because I don't like the idea of a super speedway championship, but it would be better than like a road course championship.
Yes.
My thing was just to make it like fair. Like it just is like not, it can't be random weather wise, but it's almost like next year's fucking championship is going to be this.
Imagine we start the season with the Daytona 500 and we cap it off with the Daytona Championship. That would be nuts.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool.
100%.
So we were saying too is like, people are like, oh, you can't decide champion at a super speedway, the big one, it's out of their hands. It's like, so don't get in the big one.
Right.
Like that.
It's strategy.
They could wad them up in the restart at Phoenix the same way. Like
it's part of strategy.
Hey, get to the end of the race, beat the other guys.
Like, I am a fan of keeping it intermediate, 1.5 miles, a classic cookie cutter track, because I think that's what represents NASCAR the best. Overall, that's what we're racing on. Well, like pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, since when? When was that not the best representation?
If y'all had to pick
mile and a half weren't good within 6.
No, not good. Just representation of what we go to the most.
If y'all had to pick a championship track for 2026 right now, any track, what would it be?
Any track right now, I get to
any
choose
track
for
right now.
2026 Homestead.
Yep.
Kansas.
Okay, you got a point.
I think Kansas would make a sweet championship track.
The only issue with that is attendance. It's going to be cold.
Put a jacket on. Martinsville's cold. Martinsville's cold.
I'm just going to watch it from home, so I'm not This is devil's advocate here.
I get it. They play football when it's 4 degrees out.
Exactly. The Buffalo Bills
they play
when it's snowing, negative degrees. Is there still fans in the stadium?
Okay, football is a little different than NASCAR. It's about half the time. You're outside about half the time. Like
I think if the fans aren't willing to duke it out, then they're not fans. I'm just saying,
dude,
like,
and NASCAR right now would love selling out Kansas. Talk about not real fans. They're like, please just show up.
Give them studded tires. Let's race on the ice.
No.
Okay, now we're talking. Now I'm back in.
Okay, what if the season didn't run into November?
It should be shorter. It's too long.
How dare you?
Gasp.
I'm sorry. It's too long.
I need more NASCAR, sir.
I'm the guy that's always shown up short. It's too damn long.
Matt, we talked at the very beginning of the episode. I said, why does it feel like it's been 3 weeks since the Brickyard?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I said it's only third. Like I said, we were talking like we're going to talk about the Brickyard. And I was like, why does that feel like it was 2 weeks ago? But it was 4 days ago.
I gotta yell at the dogs. Sorry.
They're good, brother. Which will take us back into talking.
Have you talked Brickyard at all?
We talked a little bit, and we talked about. We really dove into nostalgia and historic crown jewels.
Okay, have you had the crown jewel discussion?
Yeah. Yes.
Is Nathan watching?
Probably not. However.
Come on, Nathan.
That was going to lead me in. We were going to roll.
You were the number one fan when nobody else was watching, Nathan.
We were going to reel into making a crown jewel list. What is your top 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever you want to put on a crown jewel? What would be your order of crown jewel races?
Okay. Have y'all done the orders yet?
No, we haven't.
Not yet.
We were going to.
Sick. I've got here the perfect.
But we have not talked about the race yet.
Okay. Well, what do you want to do first? I'm cool with
Let's do the crown jewel list, and then let's jump in the race.
That's a fun idea. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, who's starting this out?
You.
Do you want me to start? Okay, at least number 1, Daytona 500.
I think we can all agree.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, 100%. I think after this is where we change.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh shit, that was the one.
That was the
one. You know what? For me, I think I'm gonna go Coke 600.
Okay.
Okay, maybe we don't change.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You Coke 600 for 2, Dakota. Where are you at for 2? You Brickyard for 2, aren't you?
Daytona 500, number 1.
I know you're bricked up for Brickyard.
My number 2 is bricked up for the Brickyard 400.
Yeah.
That is my number 2 crown. To me, that is the right under ugly stepsister of the Daytona 500. That is number 2 of prestige in the crown jewel list.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I wouldn't argue it.
It was a shame we had to go to some stupid road course to pretend that it wasn't.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can all agree.
We're getting there, Connor.
Did he add enough carne asada though?
So did you have to put him on film?
I bet he skimmed you for sure. Okay, Pool. I wasn't here. No, I've been keeping up with the chat. You are pro. This is a crown jewel. It's good.
Yes.
It's back on the schedule.
100%.
Okay, I thought so. I remember that.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool. So we don't have anyone we can argue with about this then.
Yeah, no, we don't have any of the people that are just lesser.
They're just arguing to argue for the sake of arguing.
That's right. Contrarians. Yeah, no, I don't hate that pick at number 2, Dakota. I just Coke 600. It's just
if that's your number 2, what's your number 3?
You know what? I'd go Brickyard at number 3.
Brickyard number 3?
Just because of the track. It's just,
me and Matt are literally on the same wavelength. I think it's our roles. Our roles are syncing up right now.
Yeah. That's
all right.
Right.
Chakra. Okay, that's putting the Coke 600 number 3 for me. Okay. I've been to it. I love it. It is iconic. Memorial Day weekend. If they move it, I'll quit watching.
I think this is where a couple of us will change though, because
But Coke 600 to me is number 3. Iconic. It's our big day, and it goes right with Indianapolis, the Indy 500. That is always a thing, and hopefully forever will be a thing.
And it's like IndyCar's got their Indianapolis, NASCAR's got Charlotte. We're doing 600. It's totally different.
Yeah,
I mean,
y'all get to 500. We're going 100 miles.
Memorial Day.
Yeah, Memorial Day. That's right. I love it.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It is a marquee race.
Okay, I stay chubbed up the entire time.
Yeah, I know.
I gotta say, even though this year's race was a Bosch, god damn, we had some
Oh
fun.
my god, I know everyone was mad about the race, but like deep down, I was
We had
just
so
kind
much
of
fun.
like, I know we were driving back to the hotel, and I was like, God, I'm still kind of happy. Like I'm still.
I had so much
riding
fun.
high off this.
I can't wait to run it back.
I can't wait to run it back. We were talking like we're coming back next. Like this is just gonna be a normal year thing now. It's not really that far for either of us.
No, 3 hours.
Yeah, definitely. And now with the Bang Bus, I mean, God bless y'all. We love it.
Okay, so we're doing top 5, right?
Yeah,
I was saying 5. You can call it 4 or 5. You know who?
5.
I got 5.
I got 5.
Okay,
I got 5.
I think we all have the same ones.
It's just 2 and 3 is different.
Well, this next one might be different. Dakota, what do you have at number 4?
Southern 500.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Okay.
Southern 500 is my number 4.
Well, we're
right
all
under
the
the
same.
600. Yeah.
I thought maybe you were gonna do Bristol, so that's why.
No,
okay.
I think
No.
okay. So we're probably all agreeing, but I think the Southern 500. It's got that. It's like that. It's that girl that she was super hot, but she was kind of like ugly in high school. But you meet up with her later, and you're like, dude, man, underappreciated. Thanks, underappreciated. But like, she was kind of naughty, and the Southern 500 to me just rolls into like the lady in black, the dirty Southern girl, like
Labor Day weekend.
She did
Also,
Labor Day week. That the nostalgic holidays really give them the emphasis.
Yes, they do.
But
it's
the
important.
Southern 500 rolls straight into just number 4 being a great race, and like if you can go to it, you should go to it. It's like it's a crown jewel, and it's the bottom of the list. The other ones are great, but like Southern 500 deserves some respect.
Oh, I 100% agree. Now, the most iconic part to the Southern 500, in my opinion, is Sunset Earnhardt Tower.
Dude, those Darlington sunsets never miss.
Just best thing.
Those sunsets of Darlington are always
people
like
that haven't. It's a weird experience too. I know it sounds weird. You're like, oh, sunsets are kind of the same everywhere, but it is a thing in Darlington. The sunsets
when the lights are turning on.
Yeah, it's like red and pink and like
they're always beautiful with that horizon, and then looking and the Southern 500, especially the last couple of years with that packed grandstands. Looking with the cars, with the old track, like you literally feel like you're taking a clip out of like 1977.
You feel like you're in peak NASCAR again.
Yeah,
you're like this is what NASCAR was.
Like this is what my grandpa came and did.
Yeah, this is what they talk about when they're talking about how badass NASCAR was.
And then
is there moonshine in the trunk?
We know we're missing out with the throwback mess. The throwback should be at the Southern 500, but
Agreed.
When they were running the throwback at the Southern 500, that was just like the cherry on top, dude.
And that was also when teams were taking it seriously. Before
now
it's just like
that was when it was real throwbacks. It wasn't just like I'm throwing it back to last year.
Peak throwback with the Southern 500 sunset packed grandstands. Like it was hard to beat, man. It was like that fourth beer. Like you were just like, ooh, fucking hit. Yeah, hitting 100%. On all cylinders, man. I there's something about Darlington. It just strikes that hair.
Yeah.
100%.
South Carolina, only race in South Carolina. It's awesome, dude.
God, I love Darlington. Rolling into number 5, I think we all agree. I don't know why this doesn't get on the list, like real terms, because like there was us growing up, there was always 2 Bristol races, and for some reason, the night race was just more than the day race. They're both awesome.
Yeah.
But the night race was the Bristol goddamn night race. And it was just always spectacular. That was a sold out race, must go to race. If you're a new fan, old fan, that was a race you had to go to. It was sold out for years. And it's still a marquee event. And all drivers, when that's really where I base my crown jewels at, is what the drivers talk about, the races they want to win the most.
Yes.
They're like, I want to win there and I want to win that race.
I think that's a huge part of what people are missing about Brickyard coming back. Because I've seen a lot of people online this week saying it's not a crown jewel. Moonhead, our homie, said it's not a crown jewel. And I think a lot of them are missing the biggest part of a crown jewel is you ask the drivers, what track do you want to win at the most? That's crown jewel. That is what matters.
Yeah. I saw a clip Joe Gibbs posted. It was like a phrased quotation, and Christopher Bell was like, "This isn't any other race. This is the Brickyard 400 at Indy." And I was like, that's what makes this a crown jewel.
Harvick
like,
was saying it. Everybody's saying it. Yeah.
There's a reason why
drivers
Denny
want
wants to win this race so bad to finish his crown jewels.
It's not a win at New Hampshire. It's not a win at Nashville. Who gives a flying shit? It's like it's Indy, baby. And the same thing with Bristol. Drivers want to win at Bristol. They want to win at Daytona. They want to win the Southern 500.
The last great Coliseum.
Yeah.
At night.
Honestly,
that's what makes them.
I think maybe the reason that Bristol Night isn't quite there, this might be superficial. It doesn't have a catchy name.
It's the last great Coliseum.
Or what?
That's the track's nickname.
Oh, you're talking about the race?
Yes,
Bristol
Southern
Night
500, Brickyard 400.
That's why I call it just the Bristol Night Race. Because
I know, but it needs something, I think.
My whole life, my whole upcoming, it was the Sharpie 500, you know? And then it was the NRA Bass Pro Shops
America's Night Race or something. Yeah.
And that was cute and it was fun, but there's nothing that's stuck. It doesn't have the nostalgic name. Is that Bristol Night Race?
Southern 500.
I think that's what puts her at 5.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that's what I'm saying. I think it needs better marketing is really all it is, because it is a crown jewel for all intents and purposes.
It is lit. There's a reason I go every year. Said I wasn't going to go this year, and now I'm coming back. It's just the fucking Bristol Night Race.
See you there, baby.
So we're going to be there too. I have one question for you. Is everybody going to
be there?
I think everyone.
Half of everybody but Cody and maybe Q.
Hell yeah, dude.
Cody's the closest to it. How is he not going to be there? Whatever.
He said he was going to go to a Tyler Childers concert or something.
God, that guy needs to do drugs again. His music is better when he's high.
Yeah, R.I.P. Tyler Childers.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Does Atlanta deserve a crown jewel?
No, chill out.
I think that's a stretch, especially not this Atlanta.
The racing has been so good lately.
I know, but it's a brand new track. Crown Jewel has to have history. Look, race Atlanta on this surface
has history.
Yeah, but this is a different Atlanta.
I think old Atlanta fell right in with spring Darlington.
Okay. Look, race on this surface for another 50 years. Come back and talk to me. I think
I love New Atlanta. Okay, look, let me nerd out for a minute.
Okay.
Have any of y'all watched Jurassic Park, Jurassic World?
Oh, of course. That's how you grow up.
Okay. Jurassic World came out, the Indominus Rex.
Yes. Yeah.
That to me is Atlanta.
Yeah, it's badass, but it's new.
It's badass, new. They made it up.
Yep.
And to me, Atlanta is Indominus Rex.
That's a good point.
I love it. It's great.
Created.
It's crazy. But it can't. I'm not gonna say crown jewel or anything. That's nostalgic shit to me.
Yeah,
Atlanta's Atlanta, but to me, we beheaded Atlanta and we rose from the ashes with this new Atlanta.
Crown Jewel for Jurassic Park is the T-Rex in the cafeteria with the banner.
With the banner.
Down.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the crown jewel of Jurassic Park. Or maybe also Velociraptor opening the door.
Yeah, Or
clever girl.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nostalgic.
Yeah.
Daytona, the nostalgic Darlington.
So let me ask this question.
Incredible racing, though. Again,
it's incredible racing.
Race of the year so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
We said it's because of history, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first race at Atlanta was also the same year as the first race at Charlotte.
Which Atlanta?
Okay,
that's
the Atlanta that doesn't exist anymore, because
technically the Atlanta that doesn't exist anymore. But that's
where we get lost.
That's my issue.
Atlanta Motor Speedway.
If we were
Atlanta ain't that Atlanta.
Yeah, that's my point. That's my point.
I think I would put Atlanta, if we were to have a 6th crown jewel, I would have it as Atlanta.
I'd allow. Okay, it's muddy waters.
I don't know
going through here.
I don't. Yeah,
I appreciate Atlanta's history. Of course, Georgia boy.
Okay, yeah.
I appreciate Atlanta's history and appreciate how long it's been here. Used to be the championship, where you're going pool, but it's with the new Atlanta, I'm it's she got a boob job.
Yeah, but you got to remember, before Gen 6, Atlanta was a good racetrack as well. Gen 6, Gen 7.
I love old Atlanta, but it's it's two different tracks we're talking about.
That's exactly.
But it is always
it's
still Atlanta. but this ain't that Atlanta. It's weird, man. It's
weird.
weird.
Pool, you would put New Atlanta at 6 if we're picking a 6 crown jewel. Dakota, what would you put at that spot?
Oh, God. It gets really hard.
Talladega.
Oh fuck, dude. Wow.
I'm going Dega. Just in terms of like, ask anyone that's not a NASCAR fan. They can tell you about Talladega.
I kind of agree with you.
Talladega's famous worldwide.
If anything, it's a Talladega Atlanta 6-7 arm wrestle for it. You know?
It's just famous.
Talladega's like, that's the thing too, is Talladega doesn't get the respect it deserves. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to win there. It's Talladega, baby. It's fucking. They've been racing there since the 60s.
NASCAR weekend of
it is a
year.
You gotta watch TV race. You know, like, or you gotta, if you ain't going there, you better be watching this race.
It's got the history. It's got action. It has fights. It has
Talladega. That's one that y'all know me, Dega Jesus.
Right.
Talladega has also never got the respect it deserved.
Yeah.
To me,
it does among NASCAR fans. Though.
Southern 500 screams like old school, but Degas to me screams Southern history. With no bias. Nothing on that, but I'm just saying, like, Talladega makes me feel proud to be from the South. Does that make any sense?
I mean, I get that from Southern 500 though too.
Yeah.
I get it more with the Southern 500. Dega, I love Dega. It does deserve to be in the conversation, and I agree with the 6-7 kind of back and forth. But at the same time,
are you just talking your quality of racing, like what is more enjoyable for a race fan? Yeah, I see where you're going too. But just in terms of like nostalgia, name recognition, fans love it.
People that don't watch NASCAR know about Talladega.
Just like the Indy 500. Just like
people that have gone to Talladega will always enjoy Talladega because of Dega Boulevard and everything else that goes with it. Atlanta, to me, again, this is just to me, Atlanta is great. Just all around. The racing has been great on the new surface. Before Gen 6 and Gen 7, it was great. And I mean, it's been there long times. 1960. Dega didn't come till 1969, I think it was. So I mean, like,
yeah, but that brings in the history of the Alabama gang and everything with it too. The
there's a lot behind
like,
there's
some cool history there.
Like when you say Atlanta, I think of Alan Kowicki in 92. I think of Dale Earnhardt in 99, or 2000. Like, I think about those races, and then I'm like, oh wait, that track doesn't exist anymore. And then I'm like, oh, like both those tracks don't exist anymore. And then I think of like,
you come to watch Pittman.
I think Carl Edwards in 05, and I think of like those races. And then I'm like, oh, wait, that track doesn't exist. And then I think of the 3-wide finish this year, and I'm like, holy fuck, how awesome was that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, those are fucking 3 different tracks, But then they all had the same Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's kind of like she's Pamela Anderson.
That's a good point.
She's got different genres.
But you also got to agree, too, that every track has been repaved over the years, correct? And it's been repaved differently.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but you can't compare that to Atlanta. Come on, that's a whole different reconfiguration and everything. That's a different track. They tore up one track and replaced it with a new one.
We still haven't even.
The aggregate is different, so that means it wears the tires differently.
The banking itself is just insanely
different. I get that, and I 100% agree.
It's a different track.
It is, but it still has, to me, the key cornerstone to be a crown jewel is history.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
it has the same history.
Okay, you know what? We'll do a poll on this. What would be the first crown? What would be a crown jewel first? Dega, Atlanta.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Unfortunately, I think Dega is going to win that one.
Yeah, I think that's why I recommended it.
All right. While we still got some time, we can go long. I got nothing to do, but let's jump into Indy, man. Let's just get to the last 50 laps. It is what it is. Crown jewel aside, we've established the Brickyard as being a crown jewel. The race got pretty interesting at the end where we had some strategy on guys that were saving fuel, guys that were maybe close, and guys that were fully good on fuel and were coming fast. Say that again, coming fast.
Coming fast.
My life.
Coming fast.
All of a sudden, implodes off the top rope. Kyle Busch was going to finish in the top 5, going for 5th, passing Denny, implodes.
Dude, that was crazy.
You know how bad he needed this, like, just decent run?
So I'm watching this race with my in-laws and like my cousins and stuff and their family, and I'm like forcing them to watch this race with me in the living room. And okay, I'm chilling, and I'm like, dude, Kyle Busch, he's about to finish. Like, he's gonna have a good fit. And I was like,
I literally was like, this is what he needs for that.
I was like, y'all don't understand how important
RCR
this
on
is.
that comeback, baby.
Yeah. Like they were sharpening that fucking pile of shit.
Dude, when that happened, I was like, holy shit, the curse is real. This is a real curse.
Dude,
like, we need to accept it. I think, honestly, Kyle Busch at this point needs to contact some spiritual guidance, maybe a priest, if he's a Catholic. Yeah, and like get somebody to lift a curse off him, because somebody's placed a curse on him.
It's bad.
Do you know why the curse happened?
Why?
Mexicans?
So think about this. What is the only thing
remember,
that has
he got in trouble in Mexico. They couldn't put him in prison, so they're like, fine, we'll curse you.
But what is the only thing that's different other than Mexico about Kyle Busch from last year when he won 3 races to this year with no races?
They did fertility, baby. They had a fertility,
no.
Surrogate.
There's no energy drink. There's been nothing to energize.
He's tired.
His wins.
Okay, so maybe not a Mexican curse. Maybe he just needs energy. That's fair.
Dude, so I heard, like, I had my scanner timed with the TV, and I literally just heard, like, back down, yellow's out. And it was like 2 to go. And I was like, like, I literally was gasping, and they just flipped to, like, the 8 car in the wall. And I was like, no fucking way. I literally was like, Kyle, no. I was so pissed. And Luna ran in the living room, and I was like, Luna, don't look. And Luna goes, Daddy, he wasn't going to win anyway.
At least she knows.
Damn, yeah, she's becoming a real RCR
My
fan.
6-year-old knows.
That's an RCR fan through and through.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't care. We're gonna win.
I literally was like, Kyle. Like, but then I was like, what happened? Like, what is going on? Oh my God, Connor's been drinking. So, what up, Chuck?
What up?
Happy birthday, bro. And I literally was like, oh
Chuck,
my God.
hey.
Like, how did Kyle fumble the football so bad? And it brought me into this, like, dude, like, I don't think he gives a fuck.
Who finished higher, Ty Dillon or Kyle Busch?
Ty Dillon, right?
By the way, I just tweeted
Kyle
the Crown
Reck
Jewel question, so everybody go in there and retweet that and spread that.
Everyone, for David's sake, please vote Atlanta, because I know I'm going to get demolished here.
Hell no.
Yeah, man, that's brutal. I don't know what he's got to do, but like I think this confirms a curse.
Something.
Yeah,
it's
been bad.
And you know what I love, which we'll get to here in a second, is I think Kyle. I mean, at the beginning of this year, I thought like Kyle's going to retire in the 8 car. Clearly, I think this. He's laid in this bed.
Atlanta right now is winning. By the way, I'm just pointing it out.
100%.
Refresh your feed, bro.
No, bro, I'm not. I'm not
and
do that.
I literally, now that with these rumors speculating and what's going on with silly season we're about to talk about, I'm like, could Kyle go to a different team right now?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But okay, so I know that in the chat they were like, man, wouldn't that be sick if he went to Spire? But I guess anything's better than.
Well, look, literally,
RCR
I'd be like, well, that would be stupid. Hear me out. The money pit that Spire doesn't give a fuck about, and Rodney Childers. Like,
it would be a team.
That would be Rodney Childers with Kyle Busch.
I just think also, I don't know. If you look at how he's been finishing,
I think Next Gen and Kyle Busch is the oil and water thing.
But dude, it's just like wrong place, wrong time for Kyle Busch for a lot of these. He'd be racking up top 10 finishes, honestly.
How many of these races he wreck out? He was in the top 10.
That's like, what I mean.
Some of them his own doing, but some of them were like freak events.
Most of them were not his own doing. Most of them were freak events.
That's like 200-300 points right there, and he's out like 100 and something points. So just look like he has definitely exceeded the car. Like he has ran faster than that car should go.
Yeah.
But like days like this, getting down to the nitty gritty of a couple races for the playoffs, and then the spotter goes, I know you're pissed off at him. We just need to finish. Never mind, he put it in the wall. Like you're like, God damn. Like,
it's so bad, man. Like he can't catch a break. The team can't catch a break.
It's rough, man. It's rough.
That's bad.
Okay, well, should we talk about the finish? I know Dakota has a lot to say about the finish.
There's two parts. There's two parts to this finish.
2 parts.
And let's talk about the first part.
Restart.
Where some guys are saving fuel. Brad Keselowski and Ryan Blaney. You had some guys coming through the field, some guys saving, some guys pit. Brad Keselowski's P1, Ryan Blaney P2. Kyle Larson votes P3 on the inside, Reddick P4 on the outside. And all of a sudden, the most impromptu timing. They're coming to the goddamn restart zone. And Brad just pulls off. Brad's like, hey, I'm sputtering. Fuck y'all. I'm done.
I can't do it, guys.
Yeah, Brad just pulls off. I fucking threw my goddamn phone. I was so pissed. I said, what the fuck? I was like, Brad, no. And Kyle Larson moved up, and I literally immediately I was like, Kyle Larson just won this race. Like, we all knew it. Which I thought Kyle was probably going to win anyway. Like, he was coming. He had the car.
Yeah.
So I thought Kyle was going to win anyway. But I literally was like, well, this is going to be fun watching Kyle get to the lead.
Right.
You know, is what I thought. But when Brad jumped to pit road, I literally was like, he just fucked Ryan Blaney.
Yeah.
Like, and so be it what his alliance is, but he just fucked a Ford out of a win. That was also what I thought. But I was like, he just fucked Ryan Blaney so hard. And Kyle just moved up, and I was like, you just gave him P1. Mm-hmm. And then, like, okay, so that's the rule, is if something happens, the car cannot continue, the line moves up. Totally fair.
However,
totally get it.
There's a difference there, though, because the line moves up, but who's the control car now?
I agree here. So that moves from Ryan Blaney's P2. That moves Ryan Blaney to P1.
Exactly.
Kyle Larson moves up, and they go at the same exact time, according to Denny Hamlin.
That is a problem.
They moved at the exact same time. Larson is supposed to react off of Blaney.
Exactly.
Like, that's the rule. Like, you can't go until he goes.
Exactly. I made a video on our TikTok, and I said, hey, he jumped.
Check out Fast Car TikTok.
Thank you, guys. But I made that video, and there's so many responses. Oh, they started at the same time. Everyone agrees they started at the same exact time. Even Denny Hamlin says the same exact time.
So shouldn't that be a penalty?
That's not what this is about. This is supposed to be a control car starts first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who was the control car?
And it's crazy because it all happens in seconds. Like, it all happens within like 5 seconds. So
but NASCAR's got to be better. They have all this data.
Well, the way we're about to talk about the next subject, NASCAR being better, I don't even know if that's in the fucking ball.
Yeah, because I was like,
so
this really, I think it's an issue, and NASCAR should be better. But this is like very minute, quarter of a second decisions and reactions. But
what I was thinking about was, Ryan Blaney's having to adjust his mentality within 5 seconds of like, he's like, I'm going, all right, the 6 is probably, everybody's thinking the 6 is probably going to run out. Or like, but he's the control car. And then all of a sudden they're coming off a 4. You got to think like, I'm going to win. I got to win. And then all of a sudden the 6 pulls off and fucking Larson of all people rolls up next to you. Can you imagine me like, oh, what the fuck? You think you're going toe to toe with Brad Keselowski?
Low almost out of fuel. Yeah.
So fucking Larson on 4 tires.
Who was more.
Yeah. Like,
and who started in first gear because he had 4 tires.
So I just can't. And then, so then whatever, yellow comes out, they wreck him into 1. But Larson already took the lead. So Larson's now the control car on the next restart.
Yep.
And automatically like just giving it to Larson. But Blaney flipping out on the radio, I totally was like, I feel you, bro. Like, I totally get it. And he's cussing out NASCAR. We got a lot of juicy sound bites from this race. But Blaney being usually I bitch about Blaney like being a whiny bitch behind the wheel. But this one I was like, I get it, bro. This one was warranted.
I feel you. Yeah. I 100% agree.
I just don't like how he has so much to say when he's in the car.
And he gets out and he's like, we had a good run, trying to win for Mr. Penske.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
just
say that
never
shit. Say that
he
shit on
never has
TV.
the same attitude, man. Like, get
I
out of the
agree.
car and say that shit to the camera.
Well, I've told you a couple times, like when the 45 messes up, I'll listen to the 12 radio, and Blaney is a psychopath. under the
Yeah.
helmet.
He's definitely
And it's very good radio. Like it's fun to
I've
listen
started
to.
listening to him because of it. Yeah,
It's fun to listen to, but I'm like, he is not like that at all on TV.
no, he's such a pussy when he gets out of the car.
Yeah.
He's a little pussy about it. So it's just like, dude, have that same attitude. I do agree. Like, I liked the energy, but have the same fucking attitude when you get out of the car. Like,
I totally agree, bro.
yeah.
But then we get to our final restart. Larson took the lead on that inevitable restart and restarts first, blah, blah, blah. Blaney can't keep up. Reddick dives in for third. And coming off of 2 with 2 to go on the green-white checkered, Ryan Preece spins. Remind you of how big Indianapolis is.
Yes.
Spins off of 2, creams the inside wall, does a cut like 360 with fucking like 3 flat tires to a complete stop.
Correct.
They're barreling into 3 at this point.
Correct.
The car's stopped. They're barreling into 3. We still have like 20 seconds before we get the start finish line.
Yep.
No yellow,
Stop
no
for
yellow,
4.
no yellow, no yellow. They come through 4, and there's no yellow, and I immediately realized what was happening.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh,
no fucking way. I literally
That's
was like,
where I got angry.
When he was sitting
screaming.
there and they still weren't throwing the yellow, I was like, oh,
Dude,
no.
I was
Exactly.
I jumped out of my chair screaming mad as fuck. Like I was so pissed. Look, I am okay with Larson winning this race. I was fine with Larson winning this race. When I made that tweet on Twitter, like, and I was said, like, fuck you, NASCAR, this is bullshit. People were like, oh, cry baby, you're mad the 5-1. And I was like, no, I'm not mad at Larson winning at all. He won the race. But the fucking no call. When we wrecked at Daytona 500, the one spun for a millisecond at the line, and they threw the yellow immediately for Byron.
Mm-hmm.
This was like a lap and a half. Kyle Larson's barreling into 1, 41's still sitting there. Like you see what's about to happen, and they threw the yellow as he came to the short chute, and it was like, dude, fuck. Like it made me so mad to be a NASCAR fan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I literally was like, I can't defend this shit.
No, yeah, because you're like, okay, I mean, it's even more frustrating because he would have won this race probably. I would say very good chance.
I was fine with Larson winning.
Very good chance Larson's going to win anyway. But now you're kind of like, he didn't really win this race. Like that was kind of a bullshit way to win.
They
took away his win.
Handed it to him.
It took his win a lot. And I think the biggest crime in all of this is the consistency that NASCAR's had.
Right.
That's my problem.
These calls are outrageous.
Okay.
Consistently inconsistent.
Yes.
Give or take whatever Nashville was for you.
Right.
We went to 5 overtimes because a car just spun.
And that's what they were worried about.
Go back to St. Louis where Austin Cindric spins with 2 to go. Or not Austin Cindric. Who spun? What race was it where Austin Cindric spun? Nashville. No, not Nashville.
No, it wasn't Nashville.
No, it was Nashville. It was Nashville.
It was Nashville
Was the one Hamlin was leading with 2 to go, short on fuel.
Yeah.
Austin Cindric spun into 3, gathered it up, and kept going. The caution was thrown immediately. And here's one thing. I saw a clip on Instagram. I don't want to credit DBC at all. They said, was that a caution on lap 5? Lap 5 of the race, would that have been a caution?
Right. Yeah.
So why is it not a caution on 162?
That's a great point.
Yeah. I literally was like, facts. A caution.
Well, think about this too. How many times had the broadcast changed by the end of this race?
Dude, I love NBC, but this one was rough with the electoral bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching pre-race. We had friends over to come watch the race. We're watching pre-race, and all of a sudden it was like, beep, and it was like, hello, folks, this just in. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like,
they did it for Dale.
They were like, Joe Byron. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I literally was pissed. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And for like 10 minutes, I was like, what is going on? And my friends were like, oh, yeah, it's a race. And I was like, and then finally I saw like, oh, it's on USA. So I flipped over USA. And then there's like, 50 to go? And they're like, oh, we're going back to NBC. And I was like, dude, shoot yourself in the foot. I was literally like, they muddied up this crown jewel so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. This is the one that NBC got wrong, and I'll give it to them. It's still better than Fox because of the camera work and how they did everything else.
Yeah,
But,
it's always going to be better than Fox.
The camera work was astounding.
Yeah. I mean, it's always going to be better than Fox. The booth, the camera, the info that they give you throughout the race. But yeah, they did fuck up on this one, especially on the return of a crown jewel. It was not a fun way to have to come back to this one.
Yeah, I was so thankful to be back on the oval, but then I thought I was fine with the race all up until 2 to go. I was totally content,
right? Yeah,
happy with the crown jewel, and then and I was fine with Larson winning, but with the no call, I was like mad again at Larson, and I was literally like, fuck you, Larson, like this is fucking bullshit, and it was like he was gonna win, but because the win was tainted, it made it all unhappy for me.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been seeing people posting a lot saying Larson's the new golden boy. It's not Chase Elliott anymore for NASCAR. And this kind of call makes you kind of question that.
Yeah.
It does.
I don't know.
It is what it is. We got some weeks to cool off about it at least.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what to do with my time. We were talking earlier, Rattlesnake, about I was like, my friend asked me if I want to golf Sunday, and I was like, well, what time's the race start? Oh, wait, I can golf whenever Sunday.
Let's golf twice Sunday.
Yeah. I wrote down earlier at the show I was gonna rate that bad boy of a crown jewel.
I haven't even thought about rating this. This is
Throw
gonna
it
be
off the top of your
interesting.
head. I haven't rated a race on my book since Nashville. So
before you get to rating the race, I think we have to shout out the fact that we need to throw out some hearts and prayers for RJ and his massive wreck that he had.
Oh, the scooter wreck?
Yes, the scooter wreck.
Good.
Prayers out for a fast recovery, all right?
Wait, what happened? Was this in the group?
He wrecked a scooter, bro.
He wrecked his scooter. He's in the hospital.
Oh man, R.I.P.
But I earlier when me and Poole were talking before you jumped on, I went ahead and wrote down 7.7. Crown jewel, so it be. I loved being back at the Brickyard. The Larson no yet call ruined it for me. I really wanted to kind of give this something home, but the only reason it's in the sevens is because it was at Indy, honestly.
It's crown jewel. You get 5 points at a crown jewel just for being a crown jewel.
I think that's fair.
Off the top of my head, I'd go 6.8.
All right.
Because it was overall, it was a good race. I knew
the race was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and we discussed this before.
And honestly, it was better than I thought.
And I was like, I'm really worried once it starts to go single file. The new fans are going to be like, this is so lame because they don't understand Indy.
Let's jump in that. Like, these new kids they just like, they see single file and they're like, oh, what the fuck? This sucks. Right. I'm like, dude, you remember watching like a 07 Michigan race?
You don't even know.
You weren't part of this.
Yeah, like that's what bothers me.
You don't know what I lived through.
Our friends in the group chat will be like, ugh, sucks. Look at this. And I'm like, y'all have no idea what hell we went through.
Right. Yeah.
And I love those days of racing. I love those cars. And it's like, dude, these races could be way more boring.
Yeah. But I was worried about people reacting to that. Thankfully, I think the ending is what people are more pissed off about. Yeah. So I kind of
I agree.
Shadowed it. I think overall it was a good Indy race. I was enjoying it, and if it wasn't for that finish call, it would have been in the sevens. But I just can't put it in the sevens with that.
Fair enough.
Like I
agree.
Yeah.
If I was to point this in, like y'all are talking about, I'd be at a 6.9. I'd be just underneath that 7.
Yep.
Okay. I was being generous.
Yeah, I'd be a 6.9, just underneath the 7.
Just because the finish, right?
The finish ruined it.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. I just can't. Yeah, morally can't put it in the sevens with that finish, man. That was atrocious. That call was bad.
Well, we got Indy wrapped up. Last minute cramming in. We had some.
Does anybody know what Jeff Gluck had it at?
I don't know.
56%.
I think it was
yeah.
So
what's it at?
56%.
Ooh.
That's towards the bottom.
That's rough. You know what kills me is people like that. We need to go back to the Roval, and it's like no.
Oh
no.
Can we all agree that this was better than the stupid?
This
Roval?
Is so much better than the Roval.
No matter what, this was better than the road course.
Yeah,
like 1000%.
It could have rained out it could have rained out halfway through, and they call it, and I still would say, don't go back to the Roval. I don't fucking care.
Yes.
History.
So
yeah.
Let's just a little last minute news we got today. When a lot of little rumors. We were talking about Kyle Busch earlier, some hot gossip, but
hot gossip.
It turns out that people that suck at their job don't get to keep their jobs, and you love to see a little bit of humble pie get served for the people that talk bad shit and don't back it up. Corey LaJoie was announced today will not be returning in the 7. And I mean,
stacking excuses.
I don't wish like ill will on anybody, but I am so fucking happy that this was announced today, because when they announced, I thought it was fishy. I saw on different pages, they said Rodney Childers is going to the 7 car.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, I saw a lot of that. And then I saw a couple pages say Rodney Childers will crew chief for Corey LaJoie next year, and I was like, well, how come that other page didn't say Corey LaJoie?
Right.
It just said
you never saw Corey LaJoie come out and go, I'm super excited to work with Rodney next year.
I noticed that too. I noticed that, like, I don't listen to this podcast, but the damn NASCAR clips pop up on my Instagram, and I never saw one word spoke of Corey LaJoie being like, I am so stoked to have Rodney come over.
Why do you think this year has been so bad?
Because Corey LaJoie sucks.
He lost funding. They pushed the money towards new blood. They haven't said it.
The 70. Look. Let's back up. Look at the 77 last year with Ty Dillon. Now look at the 77 this year with Corey LaJoie. Carson Hocevar.
Carson, yeah.
Okay.
Now
same team organization. Look at the 7 car last year and look at the 7 car this year.
Yeah, exactly. Overlay the 77 this year to the 7 last year. I think all the funding from last year went to the 77 this year.
Those guys definitely got some pockets over there because they seem to be just throwing cash at people.
Cambridge, bro.
Hey, hear me out. I know we don't really know all we know. What if Rodney Childers fucking crew chief for Carson Hocevar?
Yeah.
That could be some wins.
Who is signed to KHI? Because right now, Rodney is still working with members that are signed to KHI.
Right? Isn't Carson?
Carson is.
Yeah. And Josh Berry. Well, Josh Berry is as well, but obviously he's 21. There's one other driver. Ricky Stenhouse. Right?
Yeah.
You think Ricky Stenhouse is the replacement?
I don't know what the replacement.
I thought Ricky signed with JRG for like 5 years or something.
Yeah, but so did last year. If you remember back, last year, Corey LaJoie signed a multi-year deal.
Yeah, that's the funny part. I don't know if I shared it with y'all on Instagram. It was like I saw all these funny ass Corey LaJoie memes today, and I was dying because I love to see it. It was like a football player like trying to sign into like the fucking stadium and the doors were locked.
Right.
It was like Corey LaJoie coming to work next week
with his multi-year contract.
Yeah, it said with his multi-year contract.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, yeah, he signed a multi-year contract. Like, peace. I said, Rodney came over there and was like,
nope,
we're not doing this. Yeah. If you want me, this is what it's gonna take. And I just love it, dude, because that motherfucker's been talking shit for like 5 years. And I used to be a big Corey supporter. I used to like want him to do good. If he could do it, man, if he had the right equipment. And then like 3 or 4 years went by of him just woe is me. And if I was in the 9 car, I'd win races. He gets in the 9 car and finishes 31st.
I remember first time. What race was it? The first race me and you went to the infield together.
Darlington.
And I think we went up and said hi to Corey LaJoie.
He was a dick.
Yep. And you were like, man, I really liked him. And I was like, dude, I met him before last year at the infield.
Yeah,
and he was a
I remember
dick
that.
to me then.
I remember that.
And I was like, I haven't liked Corey LaJoie since then. And I think that was when you were kind of
like, that was when I started to shift. That was
you were like, oh, I didn't know he was a fucking asshole. And
yeah. You're hitting it back. So I used to like Corey. Like I used to be like, man, want him to do good. Little dog that could. And then I noticed like all his, because I used to like his old podcast, fucking Sunday Money. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then when he went to stacking pennies and NASCAR,
excuses.
it was always just like, if I had the same equipment, I'd win races every week. And it was like, that was like the 6-year memo. And I was like, dude, fuck, this guy's kind of like full of shit.
Yeah.
And then we went to Darlington and we literally like ran into Corey LaJoie. And I was like a little kid, like, yo, Corey, what's up? And he was like,
he tried big dicking us.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, hey.
Dude,
and he
Corey LaJoie, like
he big dicked us, and I was like, dude, fuck that.
You should be so thankful that anyone's coming up to say hi to you.
Yeah. And I remember that, and I was totally like, ugh.
Because I remember that same year, I also bumped into like Ross Chastain, and that was before he was really
before he was on or anything.
Yeah, he was on the come up, and I remember I was like, yo,
he was
Ross,
super nice.
Because I was kind of comparing those two of like up and coming names.
They were on the same spectrum.
And Ross was like so nice. He stopped and was like, dude, thanks so much, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, okay, fuck Corey LaJoie. I like Ross Chastain more.
That is one of the reasons why I started moving over to Chris Buescher, because I talked with him for 15 minutes. I got to talk with him for 15 minutes. Like a lot of the other drivers wouldn't give me the time of day, but me and Chris, we just talk.
Drivers need to know this. Like, it genuinely is going to reflect on if anyone likes you or not.
Yeah.
Rasse, I don't know if you remember that same race. It's all coming back to me. As much as all of them hate Justin Haley, we stopped with Harris Lou and stopped by the bathrooms, and we're shooting the shit, and Justin Haley came up, and we shot the shit with Justin Haley for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Like
Justin Haley came up and shot the shit with us, with Harris, and we're all talking
in the bathroom. Like,
they were going to the bathroom, and Justin Haley was totally cool with us. And everybody's like, fuck Justin Haley. And I've been like, he was super cool.
So me and Pittman ran into Justin Haley at Bristol, and he was a dick. Like, he did not, like, Justin, he got off the golf cart, ignored all the kids, ignored everyone, went up to the stage, did his interview, and then just bolted back to the golf cart and left. Would not talk to anyone, would not look at anyone. I mean, he was just straight up chode mode.
Interesting. Totally different experience.
Yeah. So it's funny talking about them old stories. But yeah, I'm so happy that Corey LaJoie gets some humble pie. I hope he has fun filling out Burger King applications. And maybe he can stay and do his little podcast with NASCAR. I don't know. That might be a good little route for him. Fuck him and fuck everything he stands for. Wish him the best.
And here's the thing. Like, this is the first time that this silly season that I'm lost on who could go to the 7 car and where Corey could go.
If they put Harrison in that car, that is a dead road. Why would they do that? Harrison's and then that spikes up the little rumors was like, what if Kyle Busch went over there?
And I don't think there's.
I don't believe it.
I think that's just some fans. Yeah,
it's for fun.
Because he has the truck series stuff with them. I think that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
But like talking to some of our friends that we have,
money talk.
Like nobody knows, dude. Like no one knows.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a buddy that works RCR. He has no fucking idea. No, I'm joking. I totally see Kyle just finish his career in the 8 car, but that was last year. This year,
I think they're going to try to get some young talent to match.
I could see. What if they hired Sam Mayer or something? You know,
Sam is not ready, dude. I talked with.
I agree. I just meant.
I talked with Andy about this. When did Sam win his first race?
What, last year?
Last year.
Yeah.
How the heck is he ready to be in the Cup Series?
The way these damn teams are doing, it's like they might just hire a truck driver.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, too. Like, Corey Heim and Eckes. Those are your two.
Eckes? I think Eckes kind of has, like, he's ready to go to Xfinity.
Well, that's the thing. Like, those are the two that rule the truck series.
Yeah.
Well, Heim, to me, in my opinion, needs to go to 2311. I've heard from some friends that are there that he's been to that shop multiple times. But then you get into Sam. Sam is not ready. He just won his first race last year. Yes, this year he's showing that he can win at multiple different tracks, but he needs at least another year to develop, to do anything. I cannot stand the people that are like, hey, Sam deserves to be in a Cup car right now. When he said that about why am I not being considered, I was like, never.
Noah was in Xfinity for like 3 or 4, 5 years. And look at him in Cup. Like, hell, he's giving that 10 car hell. But, I mean, look at how I think, and it's almost like the Joey Logano method is like, you give these guys 3 or 4 seasons to kind of finally get their footing.
To get it in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can't just do a 1-year deal with these guys and be like, oh, they didn't got what it takes, especially with these cars. But I can see Eckes getting a bump, but I don't fucking care for the truck to cup route. Like in my growing up, it was like you proved yourself in trucks.
Right.
You went to Xfinity. Or Busch series. You proved yourself. Maybe you'll get a cup deal.
I mean, I don't really care if the talent's there.
My other thing is, you know how much cheaper it is to pay that truck guy?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll get that. I'll get a driver that can do the same results for quarter the price.
Yeah, if they're good enough, I don't really care.
Yeah.
You know who the future is? Corey Day, the sprint car driver.
Yeah, still never heard of him.
I'm excited about that. I think what did he get? He got some truck series rides, right?
I know he's going to be driving ARCA. Yeah.
ARCA. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, he's the future. He's like the next little Kyle Larson.
Dude, I hear. Yeah, I heard some great things about him.
Ooh, he is incredible to watch.
Is he?
I'm just kind of bummed because I'm like, he's so good at sprint cars. I don't want to see him waste like 5 to 6 years chasing this pipe dream and it not work out. Because
I think it will. From what I've heard, I think it will.
We'll see. Anyway.
Yeah, man. I don't know. We just wanted to get that last minute gossip in because it's just so glad to see people that talk shit get served. It's great. But man, we went to Indy. We got off weeks coming up. Some of you may watch the Olympics. Some of you may not give a fuck. Definitely going to eat good and drink a lot of beer during these off weeks. I think I need a mental reset, honestly, with racing after that Brickyard. I need like just some time to not think about it. A couple weeks without episode. We'll come back maybe pre-Richmond or after Richmond. Who cares? And I need time to just take off and like unwind and be like, ooh, I missed me some racing.
Yeah, it's good to miss it again.
Yeah, I think that's what this will do. Like, I'll be like, ooh, I need to see a race because
I think we need 2 weeks off every year, but I maybe different times. Maybe 1 week in the first half, 1 week for the second half.
I do think I get the Olympics is why I do like a like pre-summer off week and then like a post-summer off week.
Yeah,
or like off week before the playoffs. I think would be like.
I think right around summers, pre and post is actually a nice idea.
I think that's a good mix in between for these people that work so much that signed up for this. But yeah, the 2 weeks different and weird. Glad those people will get a break. I've always get this feeling when we have these breaks is that like when we come back, it's going to be a shift in tides. Like those guys you thought like, man, they really need to get a good run are going to have good runs. And those guys that were having good runs are going to be like, what happened to them?
They're going to start to struggle. They got lazy.
Yeah. I kind of feel like that's what happens. We get a little reset and some of these underdogs punch big and some of these guys that were on top miss it.
It's crunch time.
Yeah, and Richmond's going to have that weird option tire, so it should be fun.
Should be a great time.
But hell yeah, Pool, man. We're glad you came on. Shout out. Tell us where to find you at. Tell us what's going on with Fast Car.
So Fast Car 11, it's me and Andy. You can find us over on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the same things. We do typically our podcast on Mondays at 7:30. We'll be back after the our 3-week break now. I guess it is 2-week break. And we'll be back for that. But we'll be doing videos for news updates that come out on our TikTok. So make sure you check those out. And then when we get to the track, we have the bang bus that they talked about earlier. We'll be going live every single time. So make sure you join us. That'll be over on our TikTok side. Instagram will have all the photos for behind the scenes. And that's us, man. I can't wait to keep going. I can't wait to hang out with the boys again. I believe we got all of us going to Bristol, and I believe we have all of us going to Atlanta, or at least most of us going to Atlanta.
I will not be at Atlanta.
I can't wait to see Atlanta, bro.
I will not be at Atlanta. I am still going to the Southern 500, unlike all you commie traders that bitched out. Oh, I want to go back to Atlanta. No, I'm going to the Southern 500 like I always do.
Reporting live.
Going to Darlington because I'm not a little commie bitch.
It's the mustache, man.
Hey, we'll have Chairgatin at Darlington and Atlanta.
And Atlanta, that's right.
There we go.
I'm just still butthurt that all y'all bailed on me, but it's fine.
I made up for it. I came a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Hey, bus.
You have no excuse. You live in South Carolina, actually. That's
he literally does.
See, the thing is, I'm gonna have barbecue. I'm gonna have bowl peanuts. I'm gonna have a bus to chill on top of. I'm gonna be chilling.
All at Darlington.
It's so. If they
could have done all that at Darlington,
expensive, I'd be there too.
I'm not gonna forgive you for this, but I expect next year the whole crew to show up to the Southern 500.
Well, really, I think it's the schedule fucking us.
We'll make something work. We'll make something work.
I can't wait for this Atlanta to be a snooze fest. And
I don't think it will be.
It's not gonna be a snooze fest at all.
I'm calling it here right now. Atlanta 2 is gonna be
the
snooze
closest
fest.
finish ever.
I'm calling it here right now. Corey LaJoie's gonna win at Atlanta and be like, I deserve a cup ride.
Again,
Dude.
I just said snooze fest.
That'll be something this motherfucker wins a race before the season's over. All the shit I talk.
Nathan's gonna be talking.
Oh,
shit.
dude.
I told you.
Yeah, he's the
I
best.
told you guys.
But dude, I'll do another episode. We got Chairgatin in. Better late than never. It was great catching up. Fucking did the thing. I started it. Matt came to finish it. It's been real, y'all. Let's get it going.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace.